Give us a second.
Hey, yes, sir. Welcome to the show. This is episode 111 of the WarDawg Trail podcast. I'm your host, Sergeant WarDawg, and we have a heavy hitter tonight.
All right, everyone. Been a long time since you seen me. Long time since I ran a show. Long time since I needed to. All right. We are back tonight for one reason and one reason only. All right. Uh, right now, at this time, one of our own brothers from 3rd Battalion, 4th Marines, especially those in Kilo Company, and especially those in 3rd Platoon, 33rd. Hey, Sergeant Frank Brownlee. We all know Brownlee, 0311 grunt type, right? Brownlee's going through some situations right now, right? Same as I have. I don't know if many of you have in 3-4. Doesn't give a damn. Right now, he is. We need to jump together. I got a spouse here. We're going live on every channel I can find. They call me Sergeant WarDawg, online and whatnot. We got his wife here. She's a doctor. She has 30 years in the, mental health field. Um, she's going to explain everything to you that's going on with Sergeant Frank Brownlee and the help we need for him right now to get out of federal custody in the state of Arkansas,
Missouri.
right?
Missouri.
Um, I'm so yeah. Shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Shit.
There's a big
Right.
difference
I'm sorry.
Missouri
I'm
and
sorry.
Arkansas.
Right.
Right.
Right. I'm sorry. Hey, very big correction there. Obviously, I apologize. Sergeant Brownlee is being held in federal custody in Missouri. Hey, we can get up to 19K to get him out. Hopefully by Friday, possibly by Monday. He went through a PTSD confrontation with law enforcement, as we all do, as grunts, as guys just like Frank that have done 2 tours in Fallujah, or myself 3 tours, and watch Frank come up. And you guys all know, you remember Frank's goddamn smile. So let's make Frank smile again. All right. You remember he's gone through 2 mild heart attacks. So any of those, I know we're all going through it. You got any heart conditions? He's already had 2 mild heart attacks. But by being, detained, contained, he's not gonna be able to get his meds to take care of that. You know what I mean? All right. So we got his wife to explain everything and make everything live. Like I said, GoFundMe's there. Let's get him home. Let's take care of him. Salute.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. It's
Yes,
good to be
if you don't mind, let us know. Well, obviously, I'm sorry I didn't explain this to everyone. This is first and foremost Sergeant Frank Brownlee's spouse. All right, his wife. All right. In addition to that, she's a doctor. Yes, PhD level. So you better shut up and listen to what the fuck she has to say. You dig? She has 30 years in the mental health field. All right. Hey, but above all else, like I just told you, she's Brownlee's wife. All right. Listen.
And that's the most important part. And that's really a lot of the reason why I'm here today is to talk a lot about Frank as a wonderful man and person. We had an experience here in Missouri in March. March and April are anniversary months for Frank and for a lot of y'all, from my understanding. Um, having met a lot of y'all over the last couple of years and gotten to know you pretty well. But we had an episode here. Frank had a PTSD episode.
Hey, to let you guys know again, 34.
It
I'm
got
sorry, Doc. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm
yeah,
trying to let the Instagram the Marines on Instagram real quick. I'll speak lower. I'm sorry.
no problem, no worries. Um, we had a PTSD episode, and law enforcement got involved, and
Again, this is for all
we've
three
been fighting that for
untitled
quite some
Marines.
time.
We have issue going on with
Tuesday,
Sergeant Frank
Frank went
Brown.
into
All right.
federal
Third
custody.
11
Uh,
rifleman
they
serves
had indictments
2 tours
for
in Iraq.
Frank,
All right. You know, I
and
got 3. I
we're
served
trying to
2. All right.
raise
You guys in 3-4 serve
$19,000
Special
for
Vehicle
Frank's
Company.
legal
Go for
defense to
PTSD,
help him
law enforcement confrontation. Now he's a
and get
federal. There's
the
GoFund page.
defense
I'm
that
live
he
right
needs.
now. I will start spreading the link. Check out Facebook. We need to try to get him out of federal custody by Friday or Monday. All right. Keep following the show. I'm on live right now with his wife.
Yeah, and we
All right. I'm
started.
sorry, Doc.
No worries. We started the GoFundMe on Tuesday. I started around 3:30 p.m. at the recommendation of one of his fellow buddies, Walt. I'll mention him, and I got it up and running. And since just Tuesday, before the show, we were already at $4,000. The goal is $19,000. The charges that Frank is facing are federal charges at this point. Um, he used a firearm during the episode. He was, in my opinion, pretty confused. There were drones, and he fired at the drones. Frank was under the influence of a controlled substance, which was a big surprise to me, to our family. Like a lot of veterans, Frank was using alcohol and controlled substances to medicate his symptoms and help him alleviate a lot of his internal distress. And he was hiding it from everybody, and hiding it well. And that was really an eye opener for all of us. But one of the reasons we're on tonight is the QR code. If you can, anything to donate to help Frank. We're really fighting to to help him with his defense, and for him just to know that he's not fighting this battle by himself. And just here to talk about that and talk about some of the other issues that he's experienced. And Junior, you and I have talked that some of y'all have had very similar experiences to Frank. It seems,
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah.
Um, if you don't mind, I'm trying to let I'm about to go live with the Facebook guys. Do you mind
Okay.
continuing on?
No,
Um,
absolutely. You want me to talk about some of the health things that you and I have talked about?
sure. Or anything else you want to let everyone know about Frank in addition to the health?
Okay. So you had mentioned that Frank's had 2 heart attacks. He's way too young to have heart attacks. He's a healthy, fit fella, as you can see from the pictures, and he continues to be as active as he can. Um, he's had coronary artery disease and has coronary artery disease. There's a lot of things with his lungs, a condition, granulomatous disease, which they're nodules in his lungs, and a lot of the conditions that Frank has, some spine conditions, we know are related to exposures, um, and we've had to
All
be educated about some of that as well.
for
And
Marines.
that's a topic that Junior and I were talking about, were toxic exposures.
Sergeant Frank Brownlee, 0311. All right, and
So
Fallujah.
again, just want to remind everybody that the QR code is up,
We had PTSD
and we're here
now
today
federal.
talking about
We got
supporting
family
Frank Brownlee,
trying to get him out by
and
Friday.
helping him in any way that you
No,
can would be
sorry.
really helpful and beneficial to Frank and our
On my
family.
channels right now. She explained everything. She's also a psychiatrist. Salute.
Um, I've had the opportunity since this came up to reach out to a lot of different fellas in 3-4. Y'all just kind of come out of the woodworks since this has come up, and people are reaching out to me and kind of telling me their stories as well. And they all sound very familiar to me. They sound like Frank's story. They sound like PTSD episodes. They sound like disruption to the family, alcohol, substance use, legal issues, health issues. And we wanted to get the word out that you're not alone, that this is not an individual singular issue. It's, other people have these struggles as well. And um, it's a valid issue, and we need to talk about it and address it.
Right, right. I would appreciate that. Now, for everyone that doesn't know, all right, we are talking about the situation with 3-4 Kilo Sergeant Frank Brownlee. All right. I am, hey, they call me Sergeant WarDawg. All right. I have his wife on live with us to explain what he's going through as far as recent confrontation he had with PTSD and law enforcement and being in federal custody. We try to get him out by Friday or even Monday. All 3-4 Marines, especially Kilo Company. Let's roll. Like I said, we have his wife's GoFundMe page set up. I'm trying to get the mission out to him as soon as I can. I'm gonna fix this audio so that you can hear her the same way I'm hearing her. But hey, this is for Sergeant Frank Brownlee. Everyone in 3-4, 3rd Battalion, 4th Marines, especially Kilo Company. All right, especially 3rd Platoon, the Dirty Third. Hey, Brownlee's going through something. Need your help. Got me? Dirty Third. Brownlee's going through something. Look out for him. That's your bro. That's your homie. Salute. Fuck all the bullshit. Oh, I'm sorry, Doc. Oh, hey, look on the screen or follow me after this. The GoFundMe page, as well as this live recording, will be shared everywhere. Salute. Okay, Doc. I'm sorry.
We're good.
I'll admit. All right. Well, not admit. Just I think most of them already know anyway. I deal with tachycardia. Right.
Mhm.
So,
That's extremely rapid heartbeat.
right. Would you let everyone know um, what tachycardia is and how what it is in association, Frank, and what he's going through, and what most of us in 3-4 or any other grunts going through.
Yeah. Frank's heart stuff and conditions, they started with tachycardia. Tachycardia is a really rapid heartbeat, um, much more rapid than just, an accelerated heart rate.
Sergeant
Um, and
Brownlee,
it continues on, and
Frank
it's very
Brownlee,
chronic
in the
over
3-4
long periods of
kilo.
time.
Sergeant
Um,
Frank
it
Brownlee,
started that way. It
federal.
progressed.
Got to go
It
fund me page.
continued.
Get him out
Frank
by
started
Friday.
having other symptoms, sweating profusely, um, pains. Um, it was very difficult for Frank to admit that he was feeling ill. I finally got his stubborn ass to say that he was feeling not so well, and we got to the medical facility, and they said he was having a heart attack. And that has been very common in my experience clinically as well that a lot of my fellows, I say fellows because about 98% of my caseload was males, but a lot of the fellows that I've worked with, heart conditions are very common. And we see it a lot in y'all's era with the exposure. And that was one of the things that Junior, you and I talked about was the VA offers a toxic exposure risk activity exam, or a TERA, TERA exam. And I
Yeah.
encourage everybody, if you do not know if you've had that exam, to go ahead and ask for one, because that's part of the PACT, PACT Act. And that was an act that was put in place, I believe it was 2022, to help all y'all increase access to health care related to toxic exposure risk, burn pits, and Agent Orange as well is included.
Okay. And Ted, tell me what you said about our lung conditions and the lung tests and whatnot.
Hmm.
Because I have to admit, yes, we all knew about the exposure from the sand, from the burn pits, but I don't know if y'all, besides what we've all heard or read, please give us your insight as far as what
Hmm.
you see Frank dealing with and other possible 3-4
Yeah,
Marines or veterans around the world.
there's a there's actually a lot of exposure risks that people aren't very familiar with. The sand, the dust, the water. The water is an exposure risk. For example, I know that Frank was involved in a rollover that that occurred, and he, along with,
Oh, I fucking remember that. Yes, ma'am,
you
I do.
remember
I'm
that?
sorry to interrupt you, but
Oh, hey,
oh
yeah,
my God, if I could tell you about that, I didn't know Frank would happen to be on that
yes, sir.
ton, but yeah, one night in
Yep,
April 2004, in the
correct.
city of Carmel, after
Yep,
we had after we hit Fallujah, right after the Blackwater contractors were killed, and at the
correct.
same time that we lost amazing squad leader Corporal Daniel Amaya. Yeah, those in the Dirty Third, 3-4 kilo third platoon, the Dirty Third. Yes, that night when we went into Carmel, excuse me, that morning. Hey, we talking 0203 hours, right? Their 7 ton fucking somehow as we're approaching the city. No, I know how. Cause at the same time that their 7 ton and the rest of the us were entering the city. You got Pec 2 scanning everywhere. We're looking for the enemy. We're fresh off Fallujah, so we're ready to ride like a motherfucker, right? Um,
Yeah,
and then that Spectre gunship blew up that fucking car on the street and it blinded the driver of the 7 ton that ended up throwing that 7 ton into a ditch full of water. So Brownlee, during his first tour, his first of 2 tours in Fallujah, as an 0311 grunt rifleman, yeah, I remember that incident, Doc. So
yep.
yeah,
That was a big one.
yeah,
And people don't think of those things as exposures.
yeah.
However, let me tell you that that is an exposure, right? The dirty water has entered your body. It's entered your lungs. I remember very vividly Frank talking about that particular incident. He thought he was drowning. He thought he wasn't going to make it back up, um, and it's a bad deal. But that's an exposure that, you know Frank has lung issues. There's a lot of my fellows that have lung issues, granulomatous disease. That's nodules in your lungs. Asthma can cause asthma, COPD, and all of these are called presumptive conditions under the PACT Act. And that's meaning that the VA automatically acknowledges that you have, had some type of exposure, and it's related to your service, and they're basically saying, yes, you've had this, so we know you're going to have this condition. So if you don't know about the PACT Act, I really try to educate my folks about that as well. Not just your physical health, your mental health too. I find it hard to separate the two, because when you don't feel good physically, you also don't feel good emotionally, and vice versa.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on. I appreciate you taking the time to come on tonight to explain to everyone what Sergeant Frank Brownlee from 3rd Battalion, 4th Marines, all we know is 3-4, Dark Side, Kilo Company, especially those from 3rd Platoon, Dirty Third. We need help. Sergeant Brownlee, get out of federal custody. We need to get him out by possibly Friday for 19K, or by Monday, out of federal custody. He's been in there a while. We just didn't know. Let's roll.
So he's
Dark
got
Side. All right, we
Frank.
got his wife on. Listen.
Yeah, Frank's got court on Monday, so we're hoping to have everything wrapped up and taken care of by then. So we'll be able to have the criminal defense attorney, you know, do the best job for him in the court appearance on Monday. So that really is our goal, and the GoFundMe that we started. And I say we because this was an effort with 3-4 guys. And y'all are fantastic fellas, because I immediately reached out to 3-4 fellas and said, "Oh my lordy, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't have $19,000 just laying around in the mattress, or anywhere else for that matter, and I got to get some help. I'm gonna ask for some help for the first time, and reach out and tell you what's really going on here." And we set it up Tuesday about 3:30 that afternoon, and when I got on with you, we were at $4,000. That I can't believe it. Y'all are so gracious. So thank you so much, and keep the support for Frank coming, please.
All right. All right. Can you please let us know, Doc, um, where, I'm sorry. Obviously, we have the QR code up, but is there anywhere else, including Facebook, that anyone can reach out to you through either Facebook, Facebook Messenger, or GoFundMe to get in contact with you, to donate, to speak to you, to get
Yes.
get Frank as much help as we can get ASAP?
Yes, if folks would like to reach out to me through Facebook or Messenger, I would be happy to give you my email or my telephone number, because that people have asked me for both of those, and they have contacted me personally, and like I said, I've enjoyed very much talking to a number of y'all, and you can contact me that way as well. Do you want me to give that out here, or do you want me to just give it to you and you post it up, or what's your preference, Junior?
Actually, we can do both. I
Okay,
can I can post them as you tell them to me. Um,
okay, cool.
Obviously, the QR code is there. I can have something screaming across the bottom, as we have here. Which I'm sorry, I didn't have scrolling more and more as I should have. Excuse me for that.
So my phone number is area code 417-350-2970. And again, my name is Anna Brownlee, and my number is 417-350-2970. And you're more than willing, just reach out to me, telephone call, text message, whatever you prefer. Or my business email is Dr. Anna Hertel, DRANNA
Hold on,
H.
hold on, hold on. Okay, hold on.
I'm too fast.
Okay. I have. Can we go back to the? Are you sure the? I don't know if you want to do the phone. Sorry, phone number. Do you want to do that? It's gonna
I
be
mean,
scrolling on the bottom. But if you don't, you can always reach you on Facebook or Facebook Messenger for safety,
yeah,
privacy, etc.
that's probably a good idea. I mean,
Okay.
it's probably a better idea. You can
And
see I'm getting pretty on this that, I want to get some help for Frank. So,
what's the exact name I need to tell them on Facebook?
it's Dr. Anna Brownlee.
Doctor. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. How about is there anything else you'd like to say or get the word out about Frank, his situation, um, what he's dealing with, or any other last thoughts? I guess I'd say.
I guess really the last thoughts that I'd like to leave everybody with is I think this has brought about a lot of people coming together, particularly 3-4 folks, and y'all, just coming together and saying, "Hey, Frank's, got some issues going on. We have similar issues going on, some of us, and we want to put something together to help him." Um, and it's been a nice thing to hear that we're not alone, and that's the universality of helping and curing is knowing that you're not alone.
Damn right. Damn right. Hey, again, Marines 3-4, especially those from Kilo Company, especially those from Third Platoon, the Dirty Third. Everyone, you see the QR code? Let's get Sergeant Frank Brownlee in 0311 with 2 tours in Fallujah on the ground every day, dodging BBIEDs, yes, car bombs, dodging IEDs, dodging suicide bombers, dodging snipers. Hey, let's help them get out because right now, TSD situation has got him into a confrontation with law enforcement, just as I have. Let's help get him out. 19K is what we need. That QR code shows you his GoFundMe page that his wife, Dr. Brownlee, here has been talking about, as well as the heart conditions for all of us, man, that we need to think about. Don't forget, we also lost a Marine in Kilo Company about a year and a half ago, Stevenson. All right. I'm not sure what you guys think, feel, but you heard it from Dr. Brownlee tonight. Our hearts are different as grunts in multiple deployments,
Yep.
including my own. All right. Tachycardia, beats too fast. Same as Frank. We need to help him. Hey, where he's at, Frank can't get his meds. Frank can't get his meds for his heart, for his life, for anything. Mental health. We need to get him out. We need to get him out of federal custody. Everybody hear me? 3-4, dark side. We got a brother. Let's get at it.
And one thing that I do want to end with, if it's okay, I don't want
Or,
to say,
or
yeah, um, I think that their their behaviors and their consequences, I absolutely 100% believe that. I am I do what I do for a living, and that's what I talk to folks about all day is behavior consequence. I'm not saying that Frank doesn't have consequences for his behavior. He does. But I think the lens that the legal system is viewing this from is very narrow, and I think it'd be helpful to open that lens not only for Frank but for other veterans as well, dealing with similar issues, because there are mental health conditions that play a role in this behavior. And I do think that needs to be taken into account when they're meaning the legal system or looking at their consequences.
All right. And Doc, just any last, like I said, last thoughts, final words before we close out.
I just want to thank everybody for their generosity and their graciousness, and it's been overwhelming. Thank you so much, and I want everybody to think about their own mental health, think about their own physical health and well being, and I want y'all to take care of yourself. I think it's important, and that's one of the reasons that we're doing this today is to raise awareness that Frank's got issues. People have issues, y'all have issues coming back. You're not the same, and we're dealing with the new norm, and that's very important for us to address and take care of.
All right. Hey, salute. Let's get Sergeant Frank Brownlee out again. 0311, 34 kilo, 2 deployments, 2 Fallujah, and '04 as well as '05. You see the QR code? This is no bullshit. He needs the GoFundMe from all of us, especially the 3-4 Dark Side family. You hear his wife, Dr. Brownlee. Let's look out for Frank, man. You know I'm not down with any type of confinement, even though sometimes it's what we need and what we deserve. All right, let's get him. Salute. Sergeant WarDawg. Out. Found us everything we're talking about. Facebook, the GoFundMe page. Anything you say towards me is all towards, GoFundMe page. Um, let's roll. December 5. Do or die. God damn it.